Right, right.
Yes.
Okay, so today we'll start with the next points according to the syllabus. So the first section we completed. Okay. Is the screen visible? Syllabus. Okay. So, so today we'll discuss this arrays and pointers. Arrays, pointers, functions. So, in this particular point, you will be studying the introduction to basic data structures. Okay, array is one of the data structures, right? So in this unit, we are having in this point we are having arrays, functions, recursive functions, pointers, then some string functions, string manipulations, structure, union, and all these other things we will cover in this point. And the last point of the unit is file handling. Okay. So we'll start with the arrays. So what you know about array? In first year you might have studied arrays. Okay. Yes, somebody tell me what do you mean by array? Don't know the definition of or meaning of arrays?
Sir, data collection.
Yes, arrays are used for data collection, correct. So what exactly the speciality of array? Okay, you might have read that array store the similar data type. Okay, array store the similar elements. Okay, in simple words. Okay, is the collection of same data type. Okay, means same data type means if you declare this array as integer. Okay, so all the values in this array are of integer type. Okay, so integer means let's say the array would be 11. I hope the screen is visible whatever I am writing. Okay, so this is the integer array. Okay, any other array I have heard other than integer? Hmm? How you declare array? Integer. Suppose the name of array is ARR 5. Okay, so this is the declaration of array. It means that, see, what it means, array is of type integer. Okay, type of the array is integer. ARR is the name of array. It is the name of array. Okay, and this array contains how many elements? 5 elements. Okay, there are 5 elements in this array, and array is of what type? Integer type. Okay, so this is declaration of array where there are 5 locations. Okay, now how these arrays are stored in memory? Okay, they are stored in consecutive location. Okay, in memory arrays are stored in consecutive location. Consecutive memory location. Okay, why consecutive memory location? Because see, let's see, okay, suppose I want to store this array into the memory. Okay, so you know that memory means RAM. Inside RAM, these arrays are stored in consecutive memory location like this: 11, 12, 16. Okay, 1, 5, 4, and 9. Okay, like this. Consecutive means suppose, yeah, suppose the memory location is like this. Yeah, we will go with the indices. This is index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3, like this. Okay, so this array is of integer array. Okay, how many elements are there? 7. So it start from 0 to 6. So but total number of elements are 7.
With ProDap's Jira software, quickly adapt and adjust to changing priorities. Staying in sync has never been easier. Get
So
started
mic
with
is
Jira
on.
software. ओके सो टाइम आ चुका है हमारे पास नया चैप्टर देखने का जिसका नाम है स्ट्रक्चर्स और स्ट्रक्चर से बहुत ज्यादा मैंने भी यहाँ पर
Please keep your mic off. Now see, in this case, consecutive memory location we said. So 11 के बाद 12, 16, like this. Okay, so this we call as indices, array indices. Okay, this is array index. Okay, and these are the value. Okay, this is called array index and this is value. No, so suppose I say that array of, now name of array is ARR. Okay, if I say array of 4, what is the value of array of 4? The value at array at 4th location is 5. Okay, like this. So these are the indices of array. Okay, now so this is index 0, index 1, index 2, 3, 4, likewise. Okay, but their memory locations will be different. Like suppose it is 101, it is 102, or 103, let's say it is 105, likewise. Okay, or else we will take it directly 102, 103, only one memory location, 104. So this is what, this is address of memory location, this index we are having in our array. Okay. Hope you got the basic concept of array. Okay, so what is the size of this array? The size of this array is 7. Okay, now many of the times we get some error like array index out of bound. Okay, have you got such error while you done programming? Yes, array index out of bound means what? Suppose there are 7 elements and you are trying to access 9th element. Okay, so if you try to access array at 9th location, okay, but there is no any 9th location, we are having only from 0 to 6, that is 7 elements we are having. Okay, so sometimes if you try to access the out of bound elements, you will get error. Okay, so this figure shows you two memory location arrays are stored in memory location. Okay, now yeah, this figure will in detail tell you regarding this indices, the same we have studied. Okay, wait. Okay, now see here we are having how many elements in array? 6 elements. Okay, so the declaration of array is like this: integer num6. Okay, so here what this integer num6 represents? See, int means the type of array. Okay, so array type is integer. Okay, num is name of array. Num is nothing but the name of your array. This is user defined name. You can give anything, just integer student, integer marks, integer roll number, integer amount if it is an integer. Okay, likewise. And 6 it is nothing but what is it is size of the array. Okay, so you just note down these things. It's very important in your copy. Note down this declaration of array: integer space num in square bracket 6. So you should be able to tell this integer is the type of array, num means the name of array, and in square bracket we mention the size of the array. Okay. Now you just note down it. I will wait for a few seconds. Note down this integer num6 and its meaning. With that also write the definition of array. First of all, note down this meaning of array declaration. Okay, then write down the definition of array. Write down array is the collection of write down like this: array is data structure. Array is a data structure of fixed elements, of fixed size elements of same data type. Array is the data structure collection of fixed size elements of same data type. Again repeating, array is the data structure of collection of fixed size elements of same data type. Okay, so 3 points we got from the definition. That first is it is a data structure. Okay, array is the data structure. Okay, it is collection of fixed size element. Okay, so the size of array is fixed. Once you fix the size, it remains the same. Okay, you can change it, but usually it is fixed size. Okay, and of same data type, elements of same data type. Okay, so this is about the arrays. Okay, so if you access num2, that is the array value at second location. Okay, so this is 0th location, first location, second, and the value of second location is 3. Okay, now you see some details about arrays. Yeah, now this is also the integer data types, like we will write here. Okay, now see, I hope this screen is visible, students.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So character letters
Yes, sir.
4. Yes, okay. So, yeah, I will take it into print. Sorry, paint. Wait. Okay. Now see here. These are the two declarations of arrays. Okay. This is one. This is second. Okay. So in first, now I told you that this is the type of array. Okay. So char is the type of array. Now here, what is the type of array? That is character. Okay, so earlier we have seen integer array, now it is character array. So as soon as you come across this square bracket, you got to know that it is array of size 4 and it is of type character. Okay, so the type of array is character, letters is the name of array. Okay, letters is the name of array and 4 is the size of the array. Okay, this is the basic things, you already know these things. Okay, but just need to revise. Okay, so we have initialized the array. Okay, giving the value a b c d, like we have initialized this array. Okay, so character letters 4 is equal to a b c d, so values we have given, so it is called as initialization. So here we have initialized the array. Otherwise you can also declare the array. Okay, so here two things we have done: declaration of array and initialization of array also. Okay, now come to the second part. In second part, yes, this is type of array, that is integer type, array of integer type. Roll number is complete the name of array. Okay, and 50 is the size of array. Okay, so we have here semicolon, means we have statement is ended here. Okay, so it means that we have just declared the array, we have not given the values. Okay, so there will be 0 to 49 values in this array, as it is 50 size, but those values at this moment we are not given, they will be given later in the program. Okay, so this is just called a declaration. Here we have declared only. Okay, we have not initialized the array. Okay, so this is the basic difference between array declaration, array initialization, integer array, character array, float array. There are various types of arrays. Okay, so I hope you got how to declare array, how to initialize array, and how to access the value of the array. Okay, accessing value of the array is very simple. Just you have to write the name of array and the index location. Okay, so how will you access the value? Name of the array, and in square bracket you will write which index value you want. So here it will be index. Okay, like this. So basic data structure is array. You will come to know all other data structures like stack, queue, okay, double-ended queue, then linked list, all of them logically use array. Okay, so very important, you should know all the basics of these arrays. Okay, so we'll move on to the next point. Okay. So next we will go to study the functions. Okay, I hope you got the basics of arrays. You already know these things. Okay, we will be doing programming, so in that in practical also we need to use arrays. Okay, there are some practicals which make the use of arrays. Okay, next we will go for the functions. Okay. Yeah, so I will tell you what exactly functions do. Okay, functions means what? The collection of statements which give some output. Okay, the function is nothing but it is the collection of statement. It takes some inputs and give you the some output. Okay, it is just like this. Okay, it is this collection of block of statements. Okay, and in that block there is some logic written. This block is having some name and it takes some input and it has some processing to be done, and then it gives you the output. Okay, now why we use function? Because for every action it is very difficult to write a particular statement. Okay, suppose we want to add some numbers. Okay, so suppose we want to add 1 to 10. Okay, without function. So every time what we will be we will need, say suppose we want to add the numbers from 1 to 10 like this. Okay, so for you will do if very basic, you will think you will be adding this to. Okay, so here you will be using add function. Again the addition of these two will be adding with these three, then the addition of this will be added with 4, then 5 likewise. Okay, so you will use this add function multiple times. Add function, not actually, we are not suppose we are doing it without function, so we have to do this add step that many numbers of times. Okay, 9 times. Okay, to add 1 to 10. So instead of this, what we can do, we can write a function add, and we can make use of that function add instead of making these 9 statements. Okay, such this is the basic use of function. Okay, we will take some example, then you will get to know. So function is a set of statements that take inputs, do some specific computation, and produces output. So many of the times it is used for repeatedly done tasks. Okay, together. When you do the repeatedly task many times, you will put that into the function. Okay. So instead of writing the same code again with different input, we can call the function. Okay. So this is the declaration of function. First of all, we have to give the return type of function, then function name. Okay, then the arguments. Okay, we will see, and then the code. We will see one example, then you can understand the exact syntax of function. Okay, yeah, before that this how arrays where arrays reside in data structure. It's regarding C++. Likewise, C is also having the similar structure. Okay. So arrays come under derived data type. Okay. There are some built-in data types in C or C++ like integral, then void and floating. But in derived, we are having array, function, pointer, reference. Okay. So keep in mind just these things, that all these arrays functions are of derived data type. Okay. We'll see one example of functions. Okay, is this code visible?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Wait. This is the example of C function. Okay. Now see here. Yeah, this is including header library. Then see, the name of function is max. So integer max. The type of function is integer, that is return time of function. Name of function is max, and these are the parameters. So the type of parameter is integer x and integer y. Now if you match it with the definition, that is the declaration, the syntax of function, it is first is return type, then name of function, then argument 1 type, argument 1 name. Okay, so this way you can write here. See, integer is the return type of function. Okay, so this int is nothing but the return type. Okay, return type. This is name of function, max is the name, and these are arguments. X is one of the arguments of integer type, y is the argument of integer type. Okay, now what this function does, see, this is called as body of the function. In function body, what we are having, we are having some logic. What the logic? If x is greater than y, return the value of x, else return the value of y. So you will get to know what this function is doing. What it is doing, it is finding the maximum value. Okay, so understood. Integer max, integer x comma integer y. Okay, so if x is greater than y, return x, else return y, because here y will be greater. Okay, so it is finding max of these two, x and y. Okay, so this is generalized statement. We have to use it for some values. Okay, so we are having main function. In main function, we will call this max function. Okay, don't go with the program, just the explanation of function here. So integer main void, the return type of main is void. So two values we have taken, a is 10, b is 20. Okay, now we are calling above function. This is called as function call. How to call function? Return type of function, it is not return type, it is the integer where we want to store the maximum of these two. Okay, so it is calling a function integer m. In m we will be storing either a or either b. Okay, so function max a comma b. Now printf m is %d value of m. Okay, so initially we have to declare m, that would be in program integer m. Actually we have declared here integer m, no need to declare it above. So what will happen? Max, so m is equal to max is a function 10 comma 20. Okay, now out of this 20 is greater, so m will be is equal to 20. Okay, so value of m is 20, and when you print this you will get the output 20. Okay, so this is nothing but the function which returns some value as a output. Okay, now this function can be applied to array also. Okay, that we will study in practicals. Okay, I hope you understood the basic concept of functions, where in this function we are finding max of x and y. If x is greater than y, return x, else return y. Okay, okay, so program is very simple. Just understand the logic. We are having two integers, integer a is equal to 10, b is equal to 20. Okay, now suppose instead of this, suppose I don't I don't write here m, I don't write here integer, only m I want to write. So you have to declare it separately here, integer m semicolon. Sometimes also the declaration is at before calling this function. Okay, so integer m has been declared here. M is equal to max of a comma b. It is also correct. Okay, or else you can declare it while calling the function. This is called as function call. Okay, function call. Okay, so why we require function? Because we need to do the same task repeatedly. Okay, so function help us in reducing code redundancy. Okay, so repetitive code we can reduce it. Okay, this also helps in maintenance as well as we have to change the values. Okay, suppose you want to make this function for generalized purpose, so also you can use the function for general purpose. It enhances readability of your code. Okay, so your code becomes simple to read because there are functions, so you can get the idea what the code is doing. So it is simple, and it provides abstraction. Abstraction means what is happening in the background you don't need to care, you will just put the function, and whatever input you are getting you will get the output. Okay, so all internal details are not required for the function. Okay, so reducing the code redundancy, then easy for future changes, that is generalized. It reduces the lines of code, simple to read your code, and it provides the abstraction. These are the advantages of function. Now there are some types of functions. One of them is recursive function. Okay, so we'll see what the recursive function means. Yeah, so recursive function is the function that calls itself. The function calls itself another function for process of chaining. Okay, so here function calls is made again and again to the same function, and that repeats cycle, that is called as function recursion, that is recursive function. Okay, why we will call same function again and again? There is a necessity like this. Okay, can you give me the example of function which is recursive? You have to call same function again and again. Okay, where we want some repetitive task, we can use function recursion. Okay, now see, it is the simple example of function recursion where we are calling this main function again and again. Okay, now see, the function is main. Inside main there is printf. The printf statement gives, this is an example of recursion, this statement we are printing. Okay, but before ending this outer main, that is this outer main started here, it is ended here. So before ending we have again put here one more main. Okay, so whenever this, when control comes to this main, it again goes to this function. Again this function will print this statement. Okay, so this is first cycle. Then again this will come across that, yeah, there is one more main here. So again it will go to the main function. It will again print this statement. Okay, again after printing statement, this will go to this main function. So this main function again will call this main function. This main function will again come to the print statement, will print this. Okay, so this will continue. What this statement printing task will continue indefinitely. Okay, so after execution you will find such statement that this is an example of recursion, this is an example of recursion. The whatever statement we have written here, that will be printed indefinitely. Okay, it will not stop because we don't have any condition given here to stop it. Okay, now suppose I hope you understood the concept of recursion, where we perform the same tasks again and again. Okay, so that is called as recursion. Now you can, if suppose you want to stop it after some time, you will have to use a counter, or you can use it in loop. Okay, suppose 10 times you want to print, you can use loop itself, or using function also you can do it by using some counter. Okay, so this is nothing but the recursive function. Why we want recursive function, the advantages just we will discuss. So the problems which are recursively defined, means repeatedly occurring problems, we want this recursive function. One of them is factorial. Okay, if you want to factorial of the number, you will use recursive, because in factorial we do the same task again and again. We minus the number and again multiply with the lower number and so on. So this is called as recursion. Okay, so complex programs can easily written using this code recursion. There are some difficulties, disadvantages of recursion, like it is difficult to understand and debug. Okay, recursion function is little difficult to debug because the function calls itself. Okay, so that's why for readability it is just somewhat difficult, and for compiler also it is, the process is debugging is required. That is when function calls itself, so again debugger has to check, and again control goes to the same function. Okay, now in this case the termination is very important. If termination is missed, the function will go in indefinite loop, just the example that we have seen. Okay, execution speed decreases because of function call and return activity maintained. Yeah, wherever there is a recursion function, your execution will be in loop for that particular time, and that's why there is a delay of execution, delay in execution. Okay, so this is nothing but recursive function. Just keep in mind that the function that calls itself again and again is called as recursive function. Okay, so that we completed. Okay, the next point is pointers, very important and very important point, pointer. Okay, before that this we already have studied. We will go to the pointers. Yeah. What is the definition of pointer? Anybody knows pointer? What does it refers?
No, sir.
Huh? Don't know? it refers to the memory location, right? Pointer is the variable which store the address of another variable. So in simple language, I will tell you what exactly pointer means. Forget about definition and all these things. Just see. Suppose this is memory. Okay. There are some locations in memory. Okay. So the locations will be having some memory address. Okay. So suppose the address of this is 105. This is 106. This is 107. We have stored here, let's say A, here Q, here 9. Okay, like this. These are the values or variables we have stored. Okay. Now, suppose there is now we need to track this memory. This is the memory we need to keep the track of this memory. So suppose there is one variable. Let's say there is one variable Z. Z नाम का एक variable है that will store the address of these locations. Okay. So these are the, this is address. This is nothing but the address of memory locations. Now here it will store, let's say one address it will store. So suppose it is storing 105. Okay. Now see the variable, it is variable. Variable means it varies, means its value is variable. That's why it called as variable. So Z is a variable that is currently storing 105, and 105 is referencing what? A. So in other words, your Z is pointing to what? A. So Z is a variable that points the value of the memory location 105, and in 105 there is A. Okay, so Z is pointing to A. So that's why it is called as pointer. Okay. Now say okay, so suppose, so what it is called as so pointer is referred as this value, this symbol star. Z is equal to, and that is the address of this. So we will write here, like, let's say a variable of address of A, let's say, in simple words. Okay. Now you got Z is pointing, ampersand means address of A. That is called as pointer. You got this? This statement, everybody got this? Don't go with the syntax, just in general terms. Yeah, in general terms, I told you that pointer is referred by this star. So pointer Z is equal to ampersand means address of A. Okay. So in other words, if you trace it, so इस block को trace किया तो pointer Z means Z is equal to address of A. Address of A is what? 105. So it is 105. So value of Z again जो हमने लिखी थी पहले, Z is equal to 105. Okay, so that is called as pointer. Pointer is the variable that stores the value of another variable. So इसमें कुछ भी हो सकता है, जैसे 105, 106, 107. Any memory location can be stored in Z. Okay. So we'll read some theory of pointer. Okay. So pointers की भी टाइप होते हैं. यहाँ पे integer pointer लिखा है, integer star ptr1. Just like we can write like in our example integer r z. जो हमने अभी एग्जांपल लिया था उसको हम ऐसे कर सकते हैं, integer star z. So integer star pointer. So pointer 1 references to memory location that holds the data of integer type. So जो whatever data holding that is of type integer. Okay. So let's say there is a one variable name integer var 30. The value of that variable is 30. Now integer this pointer 1 is equal to address of that variable. That is pointer to variable. Okay. So I hope this is clear now. See what we have done here. A simple example of pointers. Okay. So integer pointers ptr1 that has been declared. Okay. Integer variable is 30 and integer pointer 1 is variable 30 and variable 30. So I will tell you what exactly happening here. Just okay. Now see, there is a variable that is stored in memory. Okay, so we know the value of that variable. Okay, so value we know, suppose it is here 30. Okay, and address we want to store. So address we don't know, but it is storing here. Okay, so let's say the address is 154. Okay, so address of 30 is 154. Here there may be 28, here let's say 50. Okay, so but we want only 30, variable 30. Okay, so इसका नाम क्या है? The name of this location is var, that is variable. So integer variable is equal to 30 and we have defined one pointer. तो pointer कहाँ पर रहेगा? Let's say this is ptr. Okay, this block is now currently empty. Why empty? Just we have defined it, integer pointer. We have given its memory location, but उसमें भी value नहीं है. ठीक है, pointer 1 और एक variable है हमारे पास, that is the value is 30. Now you got the first statement is this, that is ptr1 is empty and integer variable 30. So this is second statement. Okay, now in third statement what we are doing, we are assigning this value, that is integer pointer ptr is equal to, यहाँ पे देखो ampersand लिखा है and variable. Okay, integer pointer ptr1 is equal to and variable. So and means address of this variable, this is and of this variable. Okay, that is 154. So this has been put here. So यहाँ पे क्या value आएगी? 154. Okay, so what value this ptr1 will get? Address of this variable, and address of this variable is 154. Understood this, students? Pointers.
Yes, sir.
This very basic thing you should know because we need to use pointers in programs. Okay, so this line is very important. Integer pointer 1 is equal to ampersand var. So address of this variable 30 is 154, that will be stored in ptr1. सो ये फाइनल PTR1 में क्या वैल्यू रहेगी 154. ओके, that's all for today. We will continue with the next topics in next lecture. So we studied today functions, arrays, recursive function, pointers. Okay, these points we completed: arrays, function, recursive functions, and pointers. Okay, I will just download the attendance list. Okay, list has been downloaded. Okay, fine. We will stop here. Remaining points we will study in next class. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you.